Whenever I speak, I'm very afraid of breaks, Sometimes half the audience does not come back. It becomes very embarrassing. But anyways, most of you are back. And we start off where we left. But before I start off, anybody wants anything? Students, all of you comfortable? No questions? We're happy with what we're doing? You're not getting bored? Okay. Would you have preferred to see the afternoon show somewhere at Sterling, or this is okay? Great. Okay, guys, let's start again. What we did earlier was that we had a look at what should be the strategy, how we go about it. So we have done what we call as the SWOT analysis. We have done what we call as the segmentation of the market that we are going to approach. We have decided what verticals we are going to be attacking. We've done research on those verticals, okay? And then we've gone about the whole sales cycle as to how we will conduct the sales cycle. Okay, you have seen a variety of things that I discussed with you. You do development, you do value propositions, you do a lot of things. So all of that was covered. Now, individually, each of those points I'm going to cover here. So what we will do is we will take a look at what is happening in each of these segments that we talked about. Segment not as in the vertical, but segment as in the graph, the circle that I showed to you. Okay. So the first thing that comes to you is how do you develop a differential value proposition? You've done the first step, that is doing the segmentation or creating verticals or creating customization. Okay. One most very critical thing which most of us printers are missing and which we don't seem to realize, a lot of our customers have started using our own tricks of the trade against us. Okay. So you see companies which are becoming print buying companies. Okay. You have the Ergos, you have the HHs, you have the R.R. Donnellys. Okay, sorry? Xerox. Most of your equipment suppliers are now focused, okay, on providing service to the extent that till about 4 years back, Xerox's service contribution, revenue through service, was only about 28%. Today, Xerox's global balance sheet shows that 55% of their revenue is coming through services. What are these services? These are print buying services. So what is Xerox doing? Xerox is taking over print buying. And what are they doing? They're coming to presses like ours, taking out our production manager or the estimation manager and employing them. So when you walk into an Ergo, you see somebody who was working as a production head somewhere. Or if you walk into an R.R. Donnelly, you see somebody who's working. So what has the customer done? The customer has brought in expertise on an area which was a gray area for him. You understand what the customer has done to you? The customer has literally taken the mickey out of you. He has screwed you by employing somebody who knows as much or more about printing business than you know. So what does it do for you? You cannot do any kind of commercial negotiations. You cannot do anything. So what is the answer? Can anybody hazard a guess? Somebody, come on, I'm sure. Students, would you like to hazard a guess? Somebody? No, you do what they have done to you. If you are attacking the pharma sector on packaging, then bring in a pharma sector packaging expert into your company. This is the most logical thing to do. Or if you are not willing to do that, then develop internally a talent which knows about that business as much as the product manager or the brand manager or whoever the hell is making those decisions. Because the customer has gotten an expert on the other end. You need to have an expert on this end. This is a very, very, very critical approach and a very critical decision making. I don't know how many of you know, okay, but I'll tell. Elvina, get up. Okay, you can come here. Always good to see a pretty face. Okay, this is our, we couldn't afford to get an operations manager from an insurance company into our business. Okay, because we couldn't afford the salary. So what we decided was we asked within our team, somebody wants to take over the insurance, because we decided our infrastructure, our strengths are geared up to take care of the insurance. So we decided we wanted a resident expert. This is our resident expert on insurance company. She knows more about insurance companies than the insurance company guy. You ask the operations manager about an insurance company, okay? Ask him how many types of renewal receipts are there. He will not be able to answer. She will tell you how many types of renewal receipts are there. Go.
So there are approximate 87 different type of letters in insurance, communication letters. And there are different approximate, we keep 62 different type of stationaries for them.
This is expertise. And it takes years to build. It doesn't happen overnight. You need to ensure that, thanks Alvina, thank you very much. You need to ensure that you invest your time, your energy into developing your sales systems and sales processes where you have a resident expert. Today when we approach the insurance sector, there is nothing that comes to us as a challenge. There's no surprises which a client can throw at us. And this knowledge allows us, okay, to develop customized solutions with value addition. You see, everybody keeps talking, okay, do value addition, but how the hell do you do value addition? That's the million-dollar question. A lot of people outside ask me, how do you do value addition? Value addition can be done only by knowledge, by ensuring that you understand your customer, his requirements, and then you develop an expertise in-house. Today, at MOS, we handle very few verticals. We look at loyalty companies in retail sector, we look at insurance sector, okay, and we look at financial sector. These are the three sectors which MOS works in the domestic market. Why? Because we believe that we have the core competency when we did our SWOT analysis. Okay, I believe we have the technical in-house expertise that allows us to customize a solution for each customer. And it allows us to give them something additional which makes us indispensable to that particular customer. This is what this is all about. I'm not going to read this to you, but if anybody has any pointers or anything that you want to talk to me about, you go about developing a differential value. Because like I said, there are 250,000 of us floating around. Okay? How do you differentiate? Everybody has a Heidelberg machine on which you are printing, you are doing this, you're doing that. How do you differentiate? Differentiation comes about by understanding the segment that you are approaching. So this is purchase pattern is if you study, okay, any customer, and if you're working with a customer, what will evolve is a purchase process. How the whole file or how the whole purchasing decision is done. Okay, that's the first thing that will come to you. The second thing that is coming is that there are certain seasons in which there is a spike, certain seasons within which there is, no demand, there is a dip. As somebody who is servicing the insurance sector, we know that year end is sky high. We prepare our production for that. If at an average we are sending out about 1.2 million inland letters a month for ICICI life insurance, okay, during the month of February, we know that 1.2 million could become 1.8 million. So we need to ensure that our production is ready for it. We need to ensure that they are aware of this. So our production, our business development person for that particular sector will keep the production that, okay guys, February aa raha hai, last year ye hua tha. All this comes from historical data that you collect. You see, data is very critical. You study this, you study the patterns, and once you've studied the patterns, it helps you to be prepared for what your customer is expecting from you. Yes, please.
When you say through bundling of services, doesn't it then make you move away from your core specialty and your super specialization?
Very true, very true. You need to, and that's where we have an advantage. Like I said, 75% of people here are also owners who are driving strategy. You must have the clarity in your mind that the extension of services that you are providing is only to support your core competency. And it is not so that the extension becomes the main product and your core competency goes away. Because if your core competency is going away, all your investment, all your capex, everything goes for a toss. You will not be able to survive. So an extension is only within what the main service that you are providing. Do not go off on a tangent. Yeah? Anybody? Can I move on? It's just a way of building relationship where you are being transparent with the customer, where you are telling the customer that, okay, I was expecting X amount of volumes from you and I have gotten this, okay, we're very happy with this and we are passing this on. It's something which you do if you feel comfortable with it. It's an individual choice. It's not necessary, okay. It can also send down a wrong signal. Your customer may be somebody who may think that, okay, you have very, very high margins and that's why you're passing on this to me. So it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, it's not. It's something which you do as a relationship development exercise if you feel your customer understands what you're doing. Okay? Yeah. If you're just doing it ad hoc and if he jumps to the wrong conclusion, then it could work negatively for you. So these are just suggestions. It's not necessary that you should do this. It is something which can give you result. It can also be used as a tool because see, all of you are used to customer quoting to you a certain quantity when he's asking you for a quote. And then the actual print runs, when they come, are nowhere near close to that. All your estimation, everything is done based on a certain quantity. And your actual print run is different. So you are a loser there. But if you have negotiated with the customer and said that, okay, my quotation is for this. However, if I'm going to get more volume from you, I will at the end of the year pass on a certain thing and that can be contracted. That also works. That will ensure that you get higher volumes, okay? And you are passing on something to the customer so the customer feels that, okay, you've been transparent about it. But carefully. I just draw your attention to the last point which I've put here: offer distinctive services such as data analytics, MIS, purchase pattern, logistical support. These are points which I know because they are relevant to the business that I am in. When I am doing direct mailing campaign management for my clients, these are services which are logical extensions, which are value additions, which the customer at times does not want it, but I still provide it, and he feels it, feels the importance of it, need of it, and it develops into, you know, a revenue stream for us. But this is something which is relevant to the business that I am in. It may or may not be relevant, but you need to find these kind of points in your own segment, what kind of printing you are doing and for who you're doing it for, so that you are able to use these effectively to leverage a good relationship with your client. Yeah? Moving on. So this is just a recap of what we've done. We have used our own SWOT. We have realized what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what are going to be the opportunities. We've identified segments. We've done how the whole sales cycle is going to work, what the strategy will be, etc., etc. This helps you, okay, to arrive at a certain kind of a working model or an SOP, which will keep your organization on the track that you have decided for yourself. I don't think I need to get into much of detail on this, but these are some of the things which we keep doing regularly. You must have a proper company profile for your organization. Sorry? Oh, sorry. I thought my voice was loud enough. Okay, I realized the difference. Okay, you need to have some certain standard things: company profile, a website in today's time. Okay, certain MIS. Okay, I don't know how many printing companies have proper MIS in which the salesperson reports to the organization. I'll give you an example as to how we do it at MOS. For every account that we handle, there's a docket. That docket starts with a client information sheet, which I told you and shared with you, the basic research which we do in-house without moving out, either through internet, telephone, association, directories, etc., we start building on that. That docket, as we keep progressing, keeps becoming bigger and bigger. Every visit to that client, once we start approaching the client, every visit, the outcome, everything is docketed. So if within a particular vertical, if a client has to be changed over to somebody else, okay, we're not sweating. We're not worried. Because it's already documented. We already have a process. This is the lead for the account. If this person is not available, this is the backup manager for that account. That backup manager is equally aware. Like we had Elvina, who just came here going on maternity leave for 6 months. Okay? All high-profile clients in insurance were taken over by somebody as effectively without the client feeling the difference in service level. It's not the person that the client is dealing with. It's the organization that the client is dealing with. This is very important for everybody to understand. Personal relationships will get over the day that person moves in or out of the company. But if you're dealing with an organization, then that endures. Okay? A lot of guys are not very happy with this particular slide, okay? Because all of them have personal relations. Was it cheeky? Okay. On the first point, we said we will research the vertical. Okay? These are pointers for all of you as to how you research on the vertical. Again, basic points. You need to keep reinventing the wheel every time. I'm sorry, I went too fast. Okay. The detailed research, first and foremost, is whether the vertical is worth your time and energy. The business that it can give to a printing company. Okay. You need to arrive at it. So once you've listed the companies in that vertical, and if you can get an estimation as to what their printing budgets are, and whether that kind of printing is what you're looking for, that's the first thing that you arrive at. Who are the top players in that company? That's very important. Product, technology, and services used for that vertical. What is it that you require to service that customer? Identify the gain, pain areas, and the needs of that vertical. This is something which will help you to strategize, which will help you to make a customized strategy for each of these guys. Okay? Future scope of that vertical. Is that vertical on the move? Like somebody cited airlines. Okay? Now if you were somebody who was following the airline business, okay, and you've been in printing from the time when airlines had those thick tickets, and if you knew and you were understanding, you would have realized that, okay, tickets are going to be passé, and that you are going to have e-ticketing come over. But at the same time, you would have realized that customer loyalty programs are also going to come in, and that's going to be a huge opportunity. Okay. So on one side, you would have had a threat. On the other side, you would have had an opportunity. And if you would have looked at both, you would have ensured that you converted that opportunity into a business win. Because loyalty programs are a big money spinner for anybody. It's a huge amount of work. Okay. And the moment you focus on something like that, it also opens up other sectors which use loyalty programs. Like retail is one of the biggest. So that's the kind of, research that you need to do, and you need to understand that that vertical is continuously growing. Everybody is today talking about packaging. Why? I want to go into packaging. Me too. I'm seriously thinking of going into packaging. Okay, guys? Yep. Better wake up. Why am I talking about packaging? Because everybody is hearing, retail mein ye aa rahi hai company, wo aa rahi hai, Walmart is going to come, X is going to come, Y is going to come, this FMCG is moving into India, the FMCG investing so much money. So you have that. The retail trade itself is, growing so fast. Retail ke andar investment. So everybody is seeing that there's a huge buzz happening there. Okay. Similarly, the pharma sector, where packaging again plays a very critical role. So everybody wants to jump onto that bandwagon without actually understanding. But that's the way it works. So it's future of the vertical. You may currently have certain things which may help you service that. But in the future, if you are going deep into that vertical, what else will you need by way of technology, by way of software, by way of, hardware, that is equipment? Do you have the capacity to make those kind of investments? All of these are very, very critical questions which each one of you need to ask yourself, and you need to answer it and move on. Yeah. This is just the kind of format that we use for preparing. This is the base document. This is called as the client information sheet, which starts. Okay, it contains key information. I don't know whether everybody can read it or not, but the first part is the client information, which has names like company name, contact person, position, phone, website details, email IDs, kind of office meaning not air conditioned, non-air conditioned, or whether it's a head office, whether it's a corporate office, whether it's a registered office, whether it's a branch, manufacturing office, whatever you call it. How big is it? This is where the square footage comes into play, because it gives you feel of the perspective, it gives you the size. Departments to be contacted within that organization who play a very critical role in your whole process. Selling is no longer meeting one person and getting orders. Selling is fulfilling and meeting a lot of departments and a lot of people across departments, so that finally the products and services are delivered. So this is part A of it. Then the current activities, basic information. Who are the current service providers? You keep adding sheets to this because this is just a format. The format is there to help the salesperson structure his thought. Okay? It's not so that he writes only this much, because what happens is you give a format to a salesperson, the salesperson will write there only. He will not want to expand, or she will not want to expand. What you do is you make them develop the habit of writing up by adding sheets, because there's a lot of critical information here. Who are the key people, so on and so forth. So this is the kind of format. This is the start or the opening of the account. Like you go to a bank, you want to open an account. They give you a form, you fill up the form. That's how it's done. Yeah, so this is your, what is it? Yeah, this is for your start with your relationship. Okay? This is then the next most important part. I'm sure somebody, the vertical that you are going into, it's a battlefield. I again bring back that number, 250,000. Here and there, all floating around. I am a printer. मैं ये भी करेगा, मैं वो भी करेगा. So, you need to assess what is the competition. If you can find out what are the pricing strategies normally applicable within that particular vertical. It's difficult, but it can be done. Okay. Are there any syndicates? I don't know whether anybody will openly want to talk about it, but are there, big printers get together and decide that, okay, we will not allow the next 2-3 guys to come out, And I believe packaging, this happens. Yeah? Firoz, would you like to add something?
It happens in syndication does happen in certain big clients with very big volumes, where few big suppliers are there, to ensure that the new entrants usually has the habit of giving additional discounts, and it's not a right practice. So syndication does happen. It helps also at times. Rather, yes, I advocate, because in our case what happens is that our suppliers are bigger than us and our customers are also bigger than us. So unless and until we unite, there's always a strength in unity. Nothing wrong in getting united. And if we all printers one day decide that we want to be united, and we develop the strength of refusing the customer will definitely understand. But unfortunately, that day, I'm just waiting for that day.
Understand if there is a syndicate play. If you know that there is a syndicate, you are prepared for it. No, you're prepared for it. If there is a syndicate, you're prepared for it. I got into a segment where there are a lot of big names. Okay, just I got into the insurance sector very, very late. Okay, and there are very big names in the insurance sector who have literally monopolized that business. I knew what was at stake and how it was being played, and we took a completely different approach to it. We've been very, very successful today. Today, at least 5 insurance companies are working with MOS.
Once again, this is related to the insurance industry itself. It's more than 10, 15 years back. I was doing a lot of work for one of the public sector insurance companies, general insurance, not life insurance. One fine day, 3 printers walked into my office. And the question is, the kind of jobs that I'm doing, why are you doing it at that rate? Whenever you have an estimate, share it with us. We'll all decide, I'll do so much job, you do so much jobs. You'll make more money and do less jobs. Sorry, I said, I never got into it.